Snuggle in and get cozy. It's story time.
Tibo meets the Squirrel Squad. It was a sunny morning, and the forest was buzzing with life. The trees swayed in the gentle breeze, and the birds chirped cheerfully from their branches. Tibo, the playful and chubby panda, stretched his furry arms wide and yawned, feeling the warmth of the sun on his soft fur. Today felt like a perfect day for an adventure, and Tibo's heart filled with excitement. He decided to take a stroll through the forest, his big paws softly crunching the fallen leaves underfoot. The forest was his favorite place to explore. There were always new sights, sounds, and friends to meet. As Tibo wandered through the trees, his big blue eyes sparkled with curiosity. He loved the way the sunbeams danced through the leaves, creating little patches of light on the forest floor. But just as Tibo was about to climb a small hill, he heard some high-pitched voices. His ears perked up, and he quickly followed the sounds. Around the corner, Tibo found a group of tiny squirrels huddled together, chattering frantically. They seemed to be in distress, and Tibo, always eager to help, approached them with a kind smile. As Tibo got closer, he could hear the worried voices of the squirrels. "Where did they go? We need to find them before winter." One squirrel squeaked, scurrying around in small circles. Another squirrel was frantically digging in the dirt, tossing soil everywhere. It was clear something was wrong. "Hello, friends. What seems to be the problem?" Tibo asked in his soft, gentle voice. The leader of the squirrel group, a small squirrel named Nutty, turned toward Tibo with wide eyes. "Oh, Tibo, we've lost our acorns. We buried them all over the forest to save for winter, but now we can't remember where we hid them." Tibo's heart melted as he saw how upset they were. "Don't worry," he said. "I'm great at finding things. Why don't I help you search for your acorns?" Nutty and the other squirrels looked at each other, hope filling their eyes. "You would really help us?" Nutty asked. Tibo nodded with a big smile. "Of course. Let's work together and find those acorns." With Tibo leading the way, the group set off on their search. The forest was vast, and there were so many places where the squirrels could have hidden their acorns. The tall trees stretched up to the sky, and the ground was covered with leaves, rocks, and bushes. Perfect hiding spots for little treasures like acorns. Tibo carefully sniffed the ground as he walked, his big paws stepping lightly on the soft earth. "Let's start near the big oak tree," Nutty suggested. "I remember hiding something there." The squirrels scurried ahead, their tiny feet barely making a sound as they dashed over the fallen leaves. Tibo followed, watching as they began to dig near the roots of the tree. After a few moments, one of the squirrels jumped up excitedly. "I found one," she squeaked, holding up a shiny acorn. The other squirrels cheered, and Tibo clapped his paws together. "Great job," he said. "Now let's keep looking. There are more acorns to be found." The group moved deeper into the forest, checking under rocks and inside hollow logs. The squirrels were fast, darting from one spot to the next, while Tibo took his time, enjoying the adventure. The forest was alive with the sounds of rustling leaves and chirping birds, and Tibo loved being surrounded by the beauty of nature. As they continued their search, Nutty suddenly remembered something. "Wait, I think I hid some acorns near the old oak tree by the river," he said, his little eyes lighting up. Tibo's face lit up with excitement. "Then let's go check it out," he said. Together, the group hurried toward the river, where the old oak tree stood tall and proud. Its thick branches spread wide, and its roots curled deep into the ground. The sound of the river flowing over the smooth rocks filled the air, creating a peaceful atmosphere. Nutty climbed up the tree quickly, his little paws gripping the rough bark as he scrambled toward a hollow branch. "Here they are," Nutty called down, holding up a handful of acorns. The other squirrels cheered, and Tibo smiled up at them, feeling proud of his friends. "You did it," Tibo said, clapping his paws together. "That's one stash found. Now let's keep going. We can find the rest." Despite finding some acorns, the squirrels knew there were still many more to be discovered. "We've hidden so many acorns all around the forest," Nutty said, scratching his head. "But I just can't remember where they all are." Tibo sat down for a moment, his fluffy belly resting on the soft grass as he thought. "What if we retrace your steps from earlier? Maybe that will help you remember where you've hidden the other acorns," he suggested. The squirrels all stopped and thought about Tibo's idea. One squirrel, Pippin, jumped up with excitement. "I think I buried some near the big rock by the meadow," he squeaked. Tibo smiled and stood up. "Let's go check it out." With renewed energy, the group set off toward the meadow, where the tall grass swayed in the wind and the sun beamed down warmly. They reached the big rock, and the squirrels immediately started digging around its base. After a few moments, Pippin let out a joyful squeak. "I found them! I found my acorns!" The group cheered again, and Tibo laughed happily. "You're doing great, team," he said. "Let's keep going and find the rest." Just as Tibo and the squirrels were celebrating their success at the big rock, the sky above them suddenly began to darken. Thick gray clouds rolled in, blocking out the bright sunshine that had been warming the forest all day. The wind picked up, rustling the trees and sending leaves swirling through the air. Tibo looked up at the sky with a concerned expression. "It looks like a storm is coming," he said. Nutty glanced around nervously. "We still have more acorns to find, but we can't search if it starts raining." The other squirrels shared worried looks. They had worked so hard to gather their food for the winter, and if they didn't find the rest of the acorns soon, they might not have enough to last through the cold season. Tibo, always thinking positively, knelt down to reassure them. "Don't worry, we can still find them before the storm hits," he said, his voice calm and comforting. "Let's stick together and move quickly. We'll get through this." The squirrels nodded, feeling a little better with Tibo's encouragement. Together, they hurried deeper into the forest, determined to find the remaining acorns. The wind howled through the trees, and dark clouds loomed overhead as Tibo and the squirrels raced through the forest. Every so often, a distant rumble of thunder could be heard, warning them that the storm was drawing near. The squirrels dug furiously around the forest, checking all the places they could remember, while Tibo kept a watchful eye on the sky. "We're almost there," Nutty called out, running toward a familiar spot near the edge of the forest. Tibo followed closely behind, his big paws pounding the ground as he ran. The squirrels scurried around, digging in the dirt and searching for their hidden acorns. Time was running out, but Tibo didn't give up hope. He knew they could still make it. "Here they are," one of the squirrels shouted, holding up a handful of acorns with a big grin on her face. The others cheered, their tails flicking excitedly. Tibo smiled at the sight of his little friends, so happy. They had found their last stash of acorns, and just in time too. But as the first raindrops began to fall from the sky, Tibo knew they had to hurry back to safety. The rain started as a gentle drizzle, but soon it grew heavier, and the wind howled louder than before. Tibo and the squirrels ran as fast as they could, their feet splashing through the puddles that were quickly forming on the forest floor. "This way," Tibo called out, leading them toward the shelter of a large hollow tree that stood near the riverbank. The squirrels scrambled inside the hollow tree, shaking the water from their fur as they huddled together for warmth. Tibo squeezed in after them, his fluffy belly just barely fitting through the opening. Inside, it was dry and cozy, and the sound of the rain pounding against the tree made the space feel even more snug. "Thank you, Tibo," Nutty said with a grateful smile. "We never could have found our acorns without you." Tibo smiled back, his blue eyes sparkling. "I'm just happy I could help," he said. "Now, let's wait for the storm to pass. We can all head back to our homes when it's over." The squirrels nodded in agreement, feeling safe and protected in their shelter. As the storm raged on outside, Tibo and the squirrels relaxed inside the hollow tree, enjoying the warmth and dryness it provided. The sound of the rain was calming, and the squirrels slowly began to drift off to sleep, their tiny bodies curled up together in a soft pile. Tibo watched them with a gentle smile, feeling peaceful as he listened to the rhythmic patter of the raindrops on the tree's bark. Tibo settled down next to the squirrels, his soft fur creating a warm cushion against the cool wood. He let out a content sigh, his heart full of happiness, knowing that his friends were safe and sound. The forest, once bustling with activity, was now quiet, except for the steady drumming of the rain and the occasional roll of thunder in the distance. As Tibo closed his eyes, he felt a deep sense of peace. The storm outside was no match for the warmth and friendship inside their little shelter. He knew that once the rain stopped, they would all return to their homes, their bellies full of acorns and their hearts full of joy. The rain eventually began to slow, the storm passing as quickly as it had come. But by that time, Tibo was already fast asleep, his head resting gently on his paws. The squirrels were curled up around him, all of them sleeping soundly in the quiet aftermath of the storm. The forest had returned to its peaceful state, and the only sound left was the soft rustling of the leaves as the wind gently stirred them. Tibo's dreams were filled with happy memories of the day, finding the acorns, helping his friends, and the laughter they had shared. He felt warm and safe, knowing that tomorrow would bring new adventures, new discoveries, and new friends. But for now, he was content to rest, letting the soothing sounds of the forest lull him deeper into sleep. And so, Tibo had another wonderful adventure with his friends in the forest. As the rain gently dripped from the leaves, they all rested peacefully, knowing they had each other. Now, it's time for you to rest too. Close your eyes, think of your favorite adventures, and know that tomorrow will bring even more fun. Sweet dreams, and sleep well.